Hello everyone and welcome back to the season finale of our F1 Championship Edition career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here at Interlagos, Brazil. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago from Japan, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But yeah, coming into this weekend, I've got some sad news for you all. This will be my last race for Red Bull Racing Formula 1 team. Yes, we've had a lot of fun. We've taken our first win, of course, back at the Hungaroring with the team. But I can confirm this weekend here in Brazil will be my last race with the organisation. Of course, if you guys watched the last video, you'll know that Midland sent me through a contract offer ready for Season 4. And then just as I finished talking, we got another contract offer through, this time round from Panasonic Toyota Racing. They have offered me the role of second driver ready for next season, so really looking forward to trying to obviously, you know, prove to them what I'm capable of achieving. They only want 14th place finishes in the Grand Prix, which to me seems a little bit low, but we also will then need to win 2 team ability tests as well over the course of the season. Toyota, definitely a team that can fight at the front, especially around some of our better tracks inside the game, but I think we should be reliably scoring points with them as we head into next season, but happy that we are still moving up the order as well. Of course, if you're new, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. We are trying to hit 5k subs before, sorry, 7k subs even I should say, before F1 25 releases. In the World Championship though, it is a 2-horse race between Felipe Massa and Michael Schumacher. Massa, simply put, he needs 8th place today, and he will be world champion there ahead of his teammate. Ferrari have already wrapped up the Constructors' Championship. We are not really in too much of a fight in the Drivers' Championship, but BMW Sauber 1 point behind us as we head into this finale. They would basically need to come 7th in this race because obviously we've had a win this year, they haven't, but I'm hoping we can try and beat them out for P6 overall. But yeah, without further ado then, let's head here to Brazil. We're heading back then here to Sao Paulo. Of course, Felipe Massa won this race last season, so I'm sure he'd love to deliver in front of the home crowd. But, you know, if I was Felipe this weekend, I would just be doing the bare minimum I need to make sure I claim victory today. I can't even remember when the last race Michael Schumacher won this season was, and of course he needs to win if he wants any shot at that crown. But yeah, obviously this is the last race we've done then of the first full season with the wheel as well, and feel like, yeah, we made a few mistakes, but we're definitely getting better and better. As I've said many times before, I don't actually believe the wheel makes you any quicker on this game than a controller, but it's definitely helped with the consistency. We've had a lot less DNFs, you know, we've had still some pretty bad errors, but this game, of course, is so unforgiving and so unpredictable that you can't really blame us too much for that. I'm just excited. You know, the goal with Toyota, maybe try and be in the championship fight. But otherwise, it's of course proving to those big teams what we're capable of.
Welcome to Sao Paulo, Brazil, for the final qualifying session in this year's calendar. Session 1 is about to start, so let's find out who'll be making up the last 6 places on the grid.
Well, final qualifying session of the year then. So far this weekend has remained dry, and I'm kind of hoping it stays there. I really want to just give Red Bull one last good result this season. We should have definitely the pace to make it into Q2. We might just be able to make Q3. This is a circuit where the AI can be pretty good, but unlike Suzuka, not ridiculously quick. The big thing is just like sending it through the center S. But of course, yeah, Brazil. What have you guys actually said in the comments, of course? Their first 1-2 finish last weekend since 1990, so they'll be looking for another one today. In practice, my best time was a 1 minute 14.0, so that's kind of what we're aiming for. It actually felt like a pretty good lap. I feel like here in Brazil this weekend. Again, the big danger corner around here is Ferradura. That's the one you've got to be really careful of. So as long as we can obviously avoid that apex curb, we should be okay. But powering back up towards the start-finish line then, shortest run. Scott Speed's going to run a 15.9. We're going to run a 13.7. That should be us instantly through. Well, there we go then. Q1 done and dusted. They're 2 seconds clear of Scott's speed. No real surprises out in Q1. It was just your backmarker 3 teams. But Yuji Ide, not even on the back row of the grid. You'd love to see it for him. I'll tell you what then, yeah, our pace here looks a lot better than I was expecting. Felipe Massa only on a 1:13.4, currently fastest out there in Q2. Jensen Button is right at the bottom of your top 10, as that's definitely not the line out of Jung Sao. But you can just see, though, we could be fighting at the front today. You know, maybe, just maybe, one more win on the board for Red Bull. I certainly wouldn't expect Brazil to be a strong track for us. But let's first focus on making Q3. Well, I always feel like as soon as I know that we could be competitive on this game, that's when the mistakes start creeping in. So I'm always better, like Suzuka last weekend, with there kind of being no pressure to get a good result or anything like that. We end up doing slightly better there, as Heidfeld now, the man on the cusp, 1:14.5. This lap hasn't been perfect, there's definitely a few more tenths in it, so I might go for a second one if we need to. What is the time going to be? A 12:09? Okay, that will immediately put us into P1. Well, there we go then, the car just getting quicker and quicker here, and 2 seconds clear of Christian Klein then. Admittedly, Fisichella, Felipe Massa, a few others very close behind us by the end of that session, but I'm not going to complain. Well, usually this season, if we've ended up making it into Q3, I try and basically gamble qualifying away to try and make sure that we've got a good race strategy in case there's rain. Today, I'm not bothering with that. I've put 10 laps of fuel in for qualifying. That should hopefully mean in a 22-lap race that we should be able to take the soft tyres to that first pit stop, but I want to be in the fight at the top of the order. Felipe Massa on a 1:14.3 right now. Ideally, we want to try and get this done in one single run, but could we snatch away pole from the home man? I think I would be very hated here in Brazil if I manage it. That being said, though, I'm still going to try. Oh, there you go, Michael Schumacher now, reminding everybody why he's an 8-time world champion. Inside this series, to the top of the board, the German will go and put 6 tenths on his teammate Felipe. Don't know whether he's running very light on fuel or what his plan of attack is this weekend, but I'll be very surprised if I can beat that lap times up over the timing beam will go. A 1:14.3 only puts us P4 provisionally. I've got one more run's worth on the tyres, I reckon, as that is completely sent through the first turn. Nope, there you go, it's over. Slight mistake down at the bottom of the hill. P4, if we do end up here, I don't think I can be too disappointed with. But yeah, Schumacher, that is a ridiculously quick lap. Well, I'll be honest, my goal then down into turn 1 is not crash with Felipe Massa. Like I said, I think if I'd taken pole away from him, the Brazilians would have hated me. If I somehow managed to crash into him at turn 1 and Schumacher wins the World Championship, I think I'd be leaving Sao Paulo in a body bag.
Don't go anywhere. We're only minutes away from the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix, coming to you live from Interlagos. They are serious about their motorsport here in Sao Paulo. They adore their heroes like Fittipaldi, Senna, Massa and Barrichello. It's another classic circuit, Interlagos, anti-clockwise, very quick, and there are several genuine overtaking opportunities. Conditions are just about perfect here today. Clear skies and perfect temperatures on and off the track. The forecast is also good, and we expect it to stay like this for the whole race. Michael Schumacher will start from pole. Next on the front row is Giancarlo Fisichella. Felipe Massa is in third, with you completing row 2. Fifth is Fernando Alonso. Juan Pablo Montoya takes 6th. Button is 7th. 8th is Kimi Raikkonen.
Well, the team this weekend hoping for a podium in our final race for Red Bull. Of course, the team already are aware that we have declined their offer for a contract extension into next season. I imagine Christian Horner is a very unhappy man back at the base. But 3 Ferrari-powered cars, of course, inside your top 4. Things would have finished like this, though. Felipe Massa would easily be your world champion. Honestly, I think if something happens to Felipe, I'm going to try and put it all on the line to win this race. Because if Schumacher wins it from this scenario, I'm going to be really sad. Maybe it's just because obviously Felipe lost the World Championship in 08 here, but I just hope he gets some redemption.
Don't go anywhere. Turn up the volume and enjoy. Here we go. The race is go, go, go.
Oh, trying to get a good start there as well. Schumacher.
Gets off to a flyer. Massa didn't get off well at all. Here they come into the first turn.
Michael Schumacher there, so aggressive into turn one. That is ridiculous. Trying to cover off everybody else in towards that first corner. Looks like Massa has lost a place as well as Fernando Alonso trying to have a look down my side in towards the Escudo de Lagos. Oh, he's going to make it happen there. A little bit of contact on the exit as we try to give each other a bit of room. But yeah, Felipe, of course, no risks taken in through those first couple of corners. I'm sure we were absolutely trying to get the jump. And I think, yeah, had Schumacher not covered Fisichella off, we could have been 3 wide into turn one. Desperately trying to get heat into those tyres, though, off the start. But Schumacher, you know, he's got 1 goal and 1 goal only today, and that's just dominate this race from the front and see what happens a little bit further behind there. As well, Fisichella gets a big old wobble down in towards the final few corners. And we are up then into P2 by the end of lap 1, so gaining some spots. I've got no idea how the race pace is going to look against the AI. I mean, we could still get rain in this race for all I know. We'll have to wait and see about that one. What I do know is that those top runners are going to be much, much quicker in a straight line. And they will always, happy to try and dive bomb you into turn one. Completely outbraking myself instead. That was arguably worse as Massa up into P4.
Michael Schumacher leads. Fisichella is second. You're third. Massa fourth. He's slipped from third. Alonso is fifth. Jenson Button in sixth. He's up from seventh. Montoya is seventh. He's lost a place from his starting position. And Barrichello is in eighth.
Oh, I just cannot keep the car on the road on heavy fuel at the moment as Massa now will go by as well. Still able to keep Fernando Alonso at bay early on. But yeah, really struggling to kind of get into a rhythm here at the start of the Grand Prix. That's the one corner where the AI really struggle, so we've got to capitalise. Well, those first couple of laps then very, very frantic here, but hopefully now we can just try and get into a bit of a rhythm. We've dropped Massa and Fernando Alonso here, so we're just trying to close in on Schumacher and Fisichella. Yep, that's exactly what we want to hear. 3/10 quicker than Michael. So, that's not what I want to do. Don't hit that wall too many times. But this is the only problem I'm finding very early on. We're basically guaranteed to take time out of the AI through the middle sector. Obviously, because of that one corner where they can't get the power down, we're guaranteed to lose time to the AI in the final sector. Because they have obviously just got a lot more power than us. But yeah, it's really sector 1 that kind of makes all the difference. And that's kind of dependent on how much I send it through those first couple of corners. Schumacher, the gap now up to 4. But we are still pulling away from his teammate.
It's quite overcast here now, and it looks like rain might be on the way. Fortunately, it looks like it's still a fair way off, and we should be finished here before it hits.
Well, I must admit, although we've been very unlucky with the rain in qualifying, we have done alright so far this season, but not having too many wet races. A lot of the time, rain meant to roll into a circuit after we're done. But yeah, at the moment, though, nothing's really happening in this Grand Prix. We're managing the gap to Felipe. Sometimes we take a bit out of Giancarlo, sometimes we don't. But we're just kind of sitting in P3, getting ready for the pit stops. Well, I must admit the tyres are feeling very, very second-hand then as we get ready to dive into the pit lane. I've got to mention it, every time we come back here, I miss the old-style Brazil pit. So, so cool. Right on the racing line. A little bit scary. With my coordination on this game is, come on, we'll try and get it down into first gear. But come on, we need a good pit stop today. Massa's already boxed. There is Michael Schumacher as well. So we need to try and get an undercut.
Alonso is second. He's up from fourth. Button is third. You're in fourth. Michael Schumacher fifth. Barrichello is sixth. Montoya is seventh. And Raikkonen is eighth.
11.1 second stop, not fantastic there. For some reason, my L1 button doesn't normally work first time round. I'm adamant I'm pressing it, but it's normally the one that kind of trips us up, as the pit lane exit here is incredibly brutal for track limits. You're allowed to run a little bit wide through the second part, but certainly not after that. Luckily, we're still ahead of Felipe. Oh, cars. That is cold tyres down at the bottom of the hill. Well, finally, a few more cars then opting to peel into the pit lane. Jacques Villeneuve trying to extend this stint as far as he possibly can. But is that Alonso or is that Giancarlo Fisichella in the box? I believe that might be Fizzy. Either way, he's going to be there right out. Oh no, he's way behind Michael Schumacher. Sorry, even we're just ahead of him, but it's only Alonso. So, actually, that's alright. I'm getting all muddled up with my Renault cars. We're obviously ahead of Alonso already, so he tried to have a look down the inside, but we will deny him that chance. Takes a long time to get the tyres back up to temperature here. Don't know why. Brazil's quite an intense circuit for the fronts. We'll back up then into P3 of this race. Basically where we've been right since the get-go, but yeah, Massa and Fisichella... No! No, 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 no! You idiot!
Fisichella is second. He was in the lead earlier.
Damn it!
Fourth is Alonso. Felipe Massa is fifth. That's a gain of 2 places. Jenson Button in sixth. In seventh is Raikkonen. And Trulli is eighth.
Just one little error, one little mistake, and it's always enough. It's a good job we've already signed that contract with Toyota, because I'm sure they will be ripping it up. But for the second year in a row, a small error here in Brazil, it has cost us dearly.
It's been a fascinating season with all manner of twists and turns to the story. It's been a wonderful journey for me and a real privilege to cover this season for you. With all the new rules and regulations, it's been challenging at times, but I think you'll agree, what we're seeing here is a firm indication that the good times are back for Formula One. So all that's left for me to say is thank you for sticking with us and goodbye from all of us here at Sao Paulo, Brazil. We'll be back next year in the spring for another season of Formula One racing. Goodbye, and as always, take care.
No idea what happened then in the second half of that Grand Prix, but both Super Aguras, myself, Montero, Villeneuve, Jarno, Trulli, Raikkonen, Fisichella and Scott Speed all failing to see the checkered flag. Antonio Liuzzi able to pick up some points as well is quite an impressive feat there, and I believe one of the Midlands as well was running right in contention. But there we are then, confirmation by 5 points. Felipe Massa is finally a Formula One world champion. Schumacher in P2 ahead of Fisichella and Alonso. I believe Montoya had gained quite a few spots right at the end as well. Liuzzi jumps Villeneuve. Webber jumps Nico Rosberg as well in all of the commotion, and a few other swappers in the bottom of the standings as well. Ferrari beat out Renault. McLaren hold off ahead of Honda. Toyota ahead of Red Bull. Just hanging on ahead of BMW Sauber in the end. So happy that they didn't score a couple of points from that Grand Prix. Midland and Toro Rosso both actually getting a few points this year. Thank you all so much for watching though, and we will be back very soon, back in Bahrain.